Well, the Oregon militants have been arrested. There was a shootout last night. We'll have full coverage and unfold it all with our reporters on the scene in Oregon on the News with Ed Schultz on RT America tonight. It's good to have you with us. Thanks for the download. Thanks for the listen. I want to go now to Ruth Conniff, who is the editor of the Progressive Magazine in Wisconsin. Ruth, good to have you with us.
Great to be here, Ed.
Okay, we're down to the wire. What's the call in Iowa? First, let's talk about the Democrats. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that Bernie continues to come on, and I think it's a big deal if he wins Iowa. But it's very tight, and the way the caucuses work, you don't know where the O'Malley voters are going to go, so you just don't know for sure. And it's been just fascinating to watch. I mean, for sure, the crowds, the level of enthusiasm, the sense of something moving is with Bernie, but everybody who supports Hillary and all of the Democratic Party affiliated organizations are out there with all of their staff just hitting it as hard as they can. So, it'll be very, very interesting to see Monday.
Well, it's all about turnout. It's hard to judge. The polls are something else. The most recent Quinnipiac poll shows that clearly younger voters are leading strongly to Sanders. Clearly older voters are leaning strongly to Hillary. It's a show-up time. It's who gets their people out.
And if younger voters vote, because they're notoriously unreliable. But if younger voters come out in force, that's right. I mean, millennials support Sanders 2-1.
So what if Bernie wins Iowa and he has a big lead in New Hampshire? What do you think that means, if anything? Because we've seen on both parties people win Iowa and it doesn't mean anything in the long run. Right,
but I think Iowa, New Hampshire, don't think he's going to win in South Carolina, but South Carolina is going to go Republican in a general election. He's building support in Nevada, which is very interesting. I mean, I talk to Jim Hightower all the time, who's just beside himself with excitement about Texas for Bernie. I mean, I think if he starts to put together a group of credible wins and surprises people, he thinks that he may have some strength in up here in the industrial Midwest, then Hillary looks really weakened. And I think, one thing that happens there is that just feeds into the narrative that it's 2008 again. And from the sort of more mainstream political analyst perspective and the party leadership perspective, it feeds an idea that a concern about Hillary's ability to actually carry the day, which is still lingering from 2008. It is possible that he can build a path, but it is absolutely an uphill climb.
What do you make of the email story? Is that resurfacing now in a serious realm for Hillary? She brushed it off the other night in the town hall meeting with CNN. But I keep seeing these headlines and these stories that the FBI, this, that, and the other. I mean, is there room for concern there? I mean, and calling balls and strikes, is there room for concern here?
I mean, I think that people may or may not care about Hillary's emails. That was such a big applause line for Sanders in the debate when he said he didn't care about her emails. But I think I think that people have a shared sense that Hillary Clinton is an establishment politician who is not an idealist like Sanders. And she's trying to say that that's why people should support her. She is not somebody who is she's somebody who will compromise. She is somebody who got a lot of speaking fees from Goldman Sachs and says, nonetheless, she can regulate the banks, but she's not going to be leading an ideological charge against Wall Street the way Sanders is. And so, I think the email story is a similar story. Did she do something that wasn't really kosher? Yeah. Do politicians standardly try to make those kinds of dodges, not disclose things? Yeah, it's not Bridgegate, but that's the debate that's going on. And the question is, in this era of Occupy, of Fight for 15, of Sanders just really getting this intense reaction for speaking to people's economic anxiety and sense that the two major parties do not represent them. Can you run as sort of the safe establishment candidate and generate enough enthusiasm to get people out and say you're just more pragmatic? You're going to govern in prose, as she says, and poetry is all fine, but she's sort of the safe bet who can get things done. It's a kind of a hard sell unless you're running against somebody who people really, really, really come out to vote against. And, I think people who are voting for a more idealistic, more progressive vision for America are voting for Bernie Sanders.
And it will all unfold or start to unfold on Monday in Iowa. Ruth Conniff, always great to visit. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, great to be with you.
You bet.